Every great achievement begins with a single thought, yet too often that thought is poisoned by doubt. The mind, when clouded with hesitation, weakens the power of action and locks potential behind invisible walls. But the truth is simple: within you lies a force greater than every excuse, every fear, and every uncertainty that has ever held you back. The difference between those who rise to success and those who remain stuck is not talent nor luck, but the refusal to let doubt control the mind. When you believe in your ability, when you decide that nothing can stand in your way, doors begin to open where once there were only walls. This is the moment to silence that inner critic, to step boldly into the life waiting for you, and to claim the success that belongs to you. Stop doubting yourself. Your future depends on it. Doubt is the greatest enemy of success because it paralyzes the mind before the journey even begins. When an idea sparks in your imagination, it carries with it the seed of possibility, the potential to grow into something extraordinary. Yet the moment doubt enters, that seed is smothered before it has a chance to take root. Doubt whispers that you are not good enough, that the obstacles are too great, that the world is not ready for what you have to offer. It convinces you to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect version of yourself that never arrives. In doing so, doubt steals time, energy, and focus, leaving only regret in its place. Success is rarely denied by circumstances alone. It is most often denied by the invisible chains of hesitation created within the mind. Consider how many dreams have been buried, not because they were impossible, but because the dreamer gave more attention to fear than to faith. A person may have the skill, the vision, and even the resources, yet still fail to achieve anything simply because doubt kept them from acting with full conviction. The greatest ideas in the world mean nothing if they are never acted upon, and doubt is the barrier that stands between thought and execution. Those who rise above mediocrity are not always the most intelligent or the most talented. They are often the ones who dared to silence the voice of doubt and act with boldness when others hesitated. Doubt robs a person not only of action but of clarity. When doubt is present, decisions become clouded, energy is wasted in second guessing, and progress slows to a crawl. Instead of moving forward, the mind circles endlessly around what-if scenarios, building mountains out of small challenges. This mental storm weakens determination and makes even simple steps feel overwhelming. Success requires momentum, but doubt interrupts that momentum with hesitation and self-sabotage. A person caught in doubt becomes their own worst enemy, creating resistance stronger than any obstacle outside of themselves. History and experience prove that greatness is born from certainty of purpose. When an individual makes up their mind fully and commits with unwavering belief, obstacles that once seemed impossible begin to shrink. The power of belief fuels creativity, resilience, and persistence, but when doubt dominates, even the smallest setback feels like proof of failure. It blinds the individual to opportunity and magnifies every weakness, convincing them to abandon the path before reaching the reward. In this way, doubt is more destructive than failure itself, for failure offers lessons, but doubt prevents the attempt altogether. To understand the full danger of doubt, imagine a person standing at the edge of a vast opportunity. Ahead lies success, achievement, and fulfillment. The path is not without difficulty, but it is navigable with effort and persistence. Yet doubt builds an invisible wall between the person and that path. Though the way forward is possible, the individual convinces themselves it cannot be done, and so they never take the first step. This is the quiet tragedy of doubt. It does not defeat through direct confrontation, but through quiet persuasion, convincing a person to stop themselves before the world ever has a chance to resist them. Those who conquer doubt do not do so because their path is easier, but because they choose faith over fear. They act in the face of uncertainty, knowing that clarity comes through motion, not hesitation. They understand that success is built not on the absence of obstacles, but on the refusal to let doubt dictate the outcome. Doubt will always whisper, but it is the choice to ignore that whisper and press forward that separates those who succeed from those who never try. Belief in yourself unlocks hidden potential because the mind operates at its highest power only when it is free from limitation. When you believe in yourself, you are no longer shackled by the weight of fear, insecurity, or the opinions of others. You give yourself permission to step into the fullest expression of who you are. That belief acts as fuel, igniting your imagination, sharpening your focus, and strengthening your resilience. Countless individuals have gone further than they ever dreamed, not because they possessed exceptional advantages, but because they dared to believe they were capable of more. Belief transforms obstacles into challenges, and challenges into stepping stones. It awakens strength that often lies dormant, waiting for the spark of conviction to bring it to life. The moment you decide to trust your own power, you begin to discover abilities, talents, and courage that had been hidden within you all along. Action destroys fear and hesitation because the mind cannot hold tightly to both movement and paralysis at the same time. Fear thrives in stillness, in the quiet moments when the imagination magnifies what could go wrong and hesitation builds walls around every possibility. But the instant a person takes action, even the smallest step forward, the grip of fear begins to weaken. Movement replaces speculation with reality, and what once seemed overwhelming is reduced to manageable tasks. Fear is fed by uncertainty, but action brings clarity, showing the path one step at a time. The act of doing shifts the focus from doubt to progress, and hesitation, which grows stronger in idleness, crumbles in the face of momentum. Every achievement in history has come from those who chose to act despite their fears. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward regardless of it. When you take action, you discover that most of the things you feared were illusions, magnified by the mind's tendency to overthink. The challenge that seemed insurmountable becomes smaller once you confront it directly. Action forces reality to reveal itself, and reality is often far less intimidating than the imagined disasters created in a hesitant mind. This is why people who consistently take action develop confidence. Their belief grows stronger with every step, and they learn from experience that fear loses power the moment it is faced. Hesitation is the silent thief of opportunity. When you wait, when you pause too long, when you let fear guide your decisions, moments of possibility slip away. Opportunities are rarely permanent. They open briefly and close quickly. The person who acts, even imperfectly, captures them, while the one who hesitates is left behind. Action not only seizes opportunity, but also creates it. By moving forward, you attract resources, people, and circumstances that remain hidden to those who stand still. The world rewards decisiveness, and it punishes hesitation with regret. Fear is often exaggerated anticipation of what could happen, while hesitation is the mind's response to that fear. Together they form a cycle that keeps people trapped in inaction. But action breaks the cycle by shifting the energy. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn?" Instead of obsessing over potential outcomes, you gather real experiences. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory over hesitation and a statement of courage. Through consistent action, fear transforms into strength, because what once intimidated you becomes familiar and manageable. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human progress, and action is the spark that creates it. A single step leads to another, and soon progress feels natural. Fear struggles to survive when the mind is engaged in forward motion. What once felt terrifying becomes routine simply because you chose to act repeatedly until it lost its power over you. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel hesitation, but those who have trained themselves to respond to it with immediate action. They know that waiting allows doubt to grow louder, while moving forward silences it. Every success story is built on the foundation of action. Ideas alone accomplish nothing, and preparation without execution achieves no results. Fear and hesitation dissolve only when replaced by deliberate movement toward a goal. Even mistakes made through action are more valuable than perfect plans left undone, because mistakes teach while hesitation only delays. The act of doing is the cure for the paralysis of overthinking, and it is in the doing that strength, clarity, and courage are developed. Confidence attracts opportunity and growth because it radiates an energy that draws people, possibilities, and resources toward you. When you carry yourself with certainty, others naturally feel compelled to trust you, to believe in your vision, and to support your journey. Confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet but powerful assurance that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. It sends a signal that you are ready to take on challenges, and that readiness is magnetic. People prefer to work with, invest in, and follow those who believe in themselves, because confidence instills faith that progress will be made. Without confidence, even the most talented person can go unnoticed, but with it, doors open, connections form, and opportunities emerge that would otherwise remain hidden. Growth thrives in the presence of confidence because belief in yourself gives you the courage to take risks and step outside your comfort zone. Every stage of growth requires uncertainty and discomfort, and it is confidence that provides the foundation to face them without retreating. The person who doubts their ability avoids risk, plays small, and remains in the shadows, but the person who is confident embraces the unknown, knowing that challenges are stepping stones rather than barriers. This willingness to face difficulty is the path through which growth happens, and it is why confidence and growth are inseparable. By believing you create the space for personal evolution, because you give yourself permission to attempt what others avoid. Confidence changes the way you perceive failure. Instead of viewing mistakes as proof of weakness, the confident individual sees them as lessons, as opportunities to refine, adjust, and improve. This mindset accelerates growth because it removes the fear of imperfection that keeps so many people stagnant. Every failure becomes fuel for progress, every setback becomes a teacher, and every attempt, whether successful or not, builds experience and resilience. With confidence, you no longer hesitate to try again, and this persistence compounds into mastery over time. Growth is never linear, but confidence allows you to endure the ups and downs without losing sight of the bigger picture. Opportunities often come disguised as challenges, and without confidence, they can easily be mistaken for threats. When you believe in your ability to rise above difficulties, you recognize opportunities where others see problems. This shift in perspective creates a constant flow of possibilities, because you are not afraid to step into spaces that others avoid. Employers, partners, mentors, and collaborators notice this quality and are more inclined to align with someone who faces challenges with courage rather than fear. Confidence demonstrates leadership, and leadership naturally attracts opportunity because people want to follow those who are decisive and self-assured. The presence of confidence also influences your daily actions and decisions, which in turn shape your growth. When you trust yourself, you make bolder choices, speak with clarity, and approach tasks with energy. These behaviors compound into results that reinforce your confidence even more. Growth becomes a cycle, fueled by belief and action, with each success, no matter how small, creating momentum for the next. This cycle not only strengthens your skills and achievements, but also builds your reputation, expanding the opportunities that come your way. Confidence is not simply a trait you are born with, it is something cultivated through experience, mindset, and deliberate practice. The more you act in alignment with your goals, the more your confidence grows, and the more your confidence grows, the more opportunities and personal development you attract. It becomes a self-sustaining force, one that continues to push you forward, helping you break past limitations and discover new levels of potential. Persistence turns failures into stepping stones because it transforms moments of defeat into opportunities for learning and growth. Every failure carries within it a lesson, a piece of information that reveals what must be improved, adjusted, or approached differently. Without persistence, failure feels final, like a door that has been slammed shut. But with persistence, failure becomes a doorway to refinement, a necessary step in the journey toward mastery. The individual who persists understands that success is rarely achieved on the first attempt, and that each setback is simply a part of the process. By refusing to quit, they gather wisdom from their experiences, and that wisdom becomes the foundation on which greater achievements are built. History is filled with examples of people who reached extraordinary success only after enduring countless failures. Their secret was not that they avoided mistakes, but that they refused to be defined by them. Each time they fell, they stood up again, stronger and more prepared than before. Persistence reshapes failure into something constructive, a tool for progress rather than a symbol of defeat. The road to achievement is rarely smooth. It is often filled with obstacles, detours, and disappointments. Persistence is the quality that allows a person to continue walking that road despite the difficulties, turning what seems like loss into eventual gain. Failure tests the strength of desire. Many people quit after the first setback because their vision was not strong enough to sustain them through the discomfort of defeat. But those who persist prove to themselves and to the world that their goals mean more than the temporary pain of failure. With every act of persistence, they reinforce their commitment, showing that no obstacle is greater than their determination. This mindset transforms failures into milestones, markers of progress that indicate not the end of a journey, but the depth of perseverance it requires. Persistence also changes the way failure is perceived. Instead of interpreting it as evidence of inadequacy, the persistent individual sees it as feedback. Every failure reveals what does not work, and by persisting, one gathers valuable knowledge about how to move forward more effectively. Over time, these lessons accumulate into a reservoir of experience that guides future decisions. What once seemed like failure becomes a series of stepping stones leading toward success, each one necessary, each one contributing to the eventual victory. Without persistence, this accumulation of wisdom never happens, and potential remains unrealized. Growth and transformation are impossible without persistence, because the path to anything meaningful is filled with challenges. Each failure encountered is an opportunity to grow stronger, to adapt, and to cultivate resilience. Persistence ensures that failure is not wasted, but instead harnessed as fuel for development. This shift in perspective empowers individuals to embrace failure rather than fear it, knowing that every misstep is bringing them closer to their goal. Persistence transforms the pain of failure into the satisfaction of progress, reminding us that the journey matters as much as the destination. The power of persistence lies in its ability to outlast obstacles. No failure, no rejection, no setback can permanently stop a person who refuses to give up. With each act of persistence, strength is built, confidence grows, and the vision becomes clearer. What was once seen as failure eventually reveals itself as preparation. The person who persists does not see a wall blocking their path. They see a stepping stone leading them higher. This is how persistence turns failures into the very foundation of success, ensuring that every stumble becomes part of the climb toward something greater. Success begins with a decision to trust yourself, because every action, every choice, and every risk you take flows from the belief that you are capable of handling what lies ahead. Trusting yourself means acknowledging that you already have within you the strength, the intelligence, and the resilience required to face challenges and pursue your goals. Without this trust, hesitation and doubt take control, causing opportunities to slip away and dreams to remain unfulfilled. The turning point for any great achievement is not found in external validation, but in the internal decision to rely on your own ability, to believe that you are enough, and to move forward with conviction. When you trust yourself, you silence the endless noise of uncertainty that often holds people back. The mind is powerful, but without self-trust, it becomes a battlefield of conflicting thoughts, second-guessing, and fear of failure. Trust brings clarity. It allows you to make decisions with confidence, to act without constantly questioning whether you are worthy or prepared. This clarity creates momentum, and momentum is the driving force that propels people towards success. Every person who has ever achieved greatness first decided, even without having all the answers, that they could rely on themselves to figure it out along the way. Self-trust is the foundation of independence. When you lean too heavily on the opinions and approval of others, your progress becomes fragile, easily shaken by criticism or doubt. But when you trust yourself, external opinions lose their power. You begin to realize that no one else has the authority to dictate your potential, because only you truly understand your vision and your purpose. This inner conviction strengthens your ability to take risks, to step into uncharted territory, and to keep moving when others may doubt or discourage you. Trusting yourself is not about ignoring feedback, but about knowing that your final decision has value because it is rooted in your own belief. The journey to success is filled with uncertainty, and no one can predict every obstacle that will arise. Trust in yourself equips you to handle the unknown with courage rather than fear. It reminds you that even if you stumble, you will learn, adapt, and keep going. Success is rarely a straight line. It is a series of trials, adjustments, and breakthroughs. Without self-trust, these trials feel like evidence of failure. With self-trust, they become part of the process, proof that you are growing stronger with each step. The ability to continue in the face of setbacks comes directly from the decision to trust that you can rise again. Trusting yourself also unlocks creativity and innovation. When you believe in your own ideas, you give yourself permission to explore possibilities that others might overlook. You are willing to test new paths, to take bold actions, and to challenge conventional limits. Many groundbreaking discoveries and successes were born not from certainty, but from individuals who trusted their instincts enough to act even when others doubted them. This confidence in one's inner voice creates a powerful force that attracts opportunities, inspires others, and pushes boundaries further than before. The decision to trust yourself is not a one-time choice, but a continuous practice. Each day presents moments where doubt tries to creep in, where fear whispers reasons to hold back. But every time you choose trust, you reinforce your inner strength. Over time, this practice builds unshakable confidence, resilience, and the courage to chase dreams with full commitment. Success begins the moment you stop waiting for permission and start relying on the belief that you are capable. That decision to trust yourself becomes the spark that sets everything else in motion, the foundation on which every achievement is built, and the key that opens the door to your greatest potential. Every doubt you silence, every step you take in faith, every act of persistence, and every ounce of confidence you build carries you closer to the life you were meant to live. The difference between those who remain stuck and those who rise is not luck, talent, or circumstance. It is the decision to trust themselves, to act despite fear, to believe in their worth, and to never quit when faced with failure. Success is not reserved for the chosen few. It belongs to those who choose themselves, who understand that doubt is the enemy, belief is the fuel, action is the cure, confidence is the magnet, persistence is the path, and trust in oneself is the beginning of everything. The power to get ahead in life is already within you, waiting for you to claim it.